Today, I have a lot of information to share with you guys. And if you stay with me till the end, I'll make sure you're not bored and you get all of this. Because understanding this would be one of the best decisions you take at the end of this year so you make a bright 2022. So as we go forward, we are going to discuss through all of this. You need to get the background, you need to understand what it is. So without wasting much time, let's jump on. This is a website where it tracks central bank digital currencies. So that's cbdctracker.org. I'll actually put all of these links in the description below so you guys don't miss anything if you want to read further and learn more. So now let's get on with it. Say in this website, you can actually go through and see like which central bank is doing what for the central bank digital currency. You have some doing research, or you have some doing the proof of concept. So as you go further, you see a lot of them are still in the research phase and they are moving on to the proof of concept, right? And then you see only a little bit of them moving on to the pilots, right? So you see South Africa, you see France, and you see others moving on to this. But surprisingly, when you see, say, for example, Central Bank of France, as they're doing their pilot program, you go on to that particular stuff and you look like, okay, the technology provider is different. We thought like, okay, it's going to be either Ether or Ripple platform, and now it seems like, it's a different technology provider who they're doing the pilot program with. But what you have to understand there is that this is a proof of concept, which they have done previously with the DLT use case, and now they are going for a pilot program. But keep this in mind, it's not interoperable. That is one of the most important stuff when you're coming out with a central bank digital currency. So now you go back to the Project Atom, which is the Australian one, and that's recent one, right? So you go and you see like, okay, it's consensus software. So the technology is Ethereum. Programmability, yes. But I'm like, okay, you can program in that network. I agree. But do you even have scalability? Do you even have interoperability? That's really hard question. But now as you go further, you also have to understand, you see nations. Now, even though it's a small one, it is a significant one. When you see move towards the green, sustainable, that kind of stuff, that literally is happening, because it's not only one. As you go forward, you're actually watching through this. We had this news before. Now, why is this important right now? Because when you are looking at other banks, central banks, say this is United Arab Emirates, UAE, with their Project Eber, right? In this one, they actually showcase like they're using IBM, so you don't even have the programmability and interoperability. So both of them are no, right? So then you go see other ones, say ePeso, where again you see technology providers are different. Programmability, they say yes, fine, but the interoperability is no. So if you are coming out with a central bank digital currency, what is important for you? It's not only using that central bank digital currency in your domestic economy, but also using the same for the international purpose, right? The cross-border exchange. So at that point, if you don't have the interoperability, how are you going to deal with digital lira towards digital dollar? That's easy stuff which we understand. So when they are going on to this, they will come, say, I'm not saying everything is going to be on the XRP ledger and XRP, because you see National Bank of Ukraine highlighting this. Technology provider, Stellar. Technology, Stellar. Yes, it's programmable. Yes, it's interoperable based on them. Now, we actually understand that central bank digital currencies, which are going to be the wholesale central bank digital currency, would more or less will have a better option when they move on to the XRP ledger. And if it's a not a central bank digital currency eyeing the wholesale use case, if they're completely retail oriented, yes, they are going to go towards that side of Stellar. Now, I'm highlighting this one for Hong Kong, which is Leon Rock, and then the eCrona project. Now, why am I highlighting this one? Because if you look at the technology provider, U3, R3 Coda, and Consensus. Now, when you saw Consensus alone, you actually understood that they don't even give you that idea of interoperability, because we know first of all it's not scalable and not interoperable. So when you come back to this one here with R3 Coda and consensus, you get interoperability there. So R3 is the one providing that. If you have a doubt, move on to the next one, which is from Sweden, eCrona, which shows you only R3 Coda without the consensus, showing interoperability is there. So now that doubt is cleared. Now, what does all of this mean? We are all coming into a global arena, whether you believe it or not, with the current health crisis and the travel restrictions and all. It kind of feels like, okay, we are not getting globalized, rather we are getting deglobalized, if that's even a word. But that's literally happening. But now step back, look at the macro scenario. You look at this one. This is an exchange which there was an announcement recently from Ripple showing that exchange is getting partnered with Ripple, the company. So now we go onto that website and you see like, okay, that is an exchange on a global level, and it's partnered with the United Nations. So you actually go back to all the documents which we discussed previously, say United Nations document, IMF, BIS, World Economic Forum, and all of this take back us to one perspective, right? So that is where we are like, okay, by 2030, they are all aiming to be on a network, financial network, where it's green, it's sustainable, and we see nations are already moving in that direction. So if everyone is talking about this technology, and you see everyone is on this technology, working on it, either doing the research, proof of concept, doing the pilot, and some even have launched their projects. So as this goes ahead, you do understand that we are going to enter into an area where these have to communicate with each other. So there is no doubt on that segment, right? So that's when you actually come to this one. Say, shout out to BankXRP for putting this one out. Ripple has combined messaging and settlements. We are interoperable with RTGS, ACH, all those existing payment systems and other crypto blockchains. So that is substantially huge, because the existing networks are there, they are not interoperable. We just saw a ton of different central bank digital currency projects which are not interoperable. So when you get a system where it's fine, even if I'm not getting the central bank digital currencies running on my network, I'll just stand here, connect all of those central bank networks which need interoperability. That is huge. That is huge, because all of those who are building on platforms like Ether, where it's everyone says this so easily. Nobody I know uses Ethereum. It's too congested. Now you go to Ethereum platform, say for example one of your wallet, take out a ERC20 token, try to move it from one wallet to another. You understand what that means. The network is too congested, meaning at this price level, if you see the gas fees, you're like, okay, that's going to be crazy. But the investor side of this, you go to Ether and you look at the chart and you're like, okay, I'm kind of watching a double bottom. The price can go back up. It can go towards $6,000 first before we actually get a huge resistance there, right? But yeah, we do have 4,800 as a resistance. And as we continue higher, we're going to still have another resistance. But that's as an investor, that's as a trader, you're looking to make money. But long-term scenario, this is what's happening. When the price of Ether goes up, the gas fee also goes up. So those who utilize that won't be able to say this is a utility area. Come on, that's not gonna happen, because at the same time, when you are into this technology, understanding the fundamentals of what's happening right now, this from Ray Dalio makes a lot of sense. I'm like, the money is gonna flow in. Why? You see this stuff here, then you see guys like Ray Dalio showing this based on what you got watching in the United States. Debt, it's fine. Let's take up a little bit more. Why? Because it's the future generations who are going to pay it back, right? So you're borrowing, and we are reaching a level this is just for US. You are reaching a level where, can't even think about. If I'm telling you guys like this is going to be the national debt, this is going to be the unfunded liabilities 10 years back, You would even sound like, okay, that's crazy. But right now, we are at that point. It's too big. But the modern monetary policies, the MMT, modern monetary theory, they kind of make it feel so easy. It's fine. You can borrow how much as you want. It doesn't actually matter. But now, all of this risk on sentiment is actually going to push the prices higher. Now that's from the charts, right? We'll go through the charts and then detail it. So as the risk on sentiment in the market increases, you will see a lot of FUD. Now FUD's coming out from all the way from the central bank makes it kind of, oh, that's from a central bank. Now, yes, that is from a central bank, but you have to understand as that's Bank of England, which rates pound. Now, when they say inflation is a 10-year high in Britain, you look at different nations, say on the other aisle, you get in US like 40-year high inflation, and you're saying like, okay, Bitcoin is not an inflation hedge, it's going down. But that doesn't make any sense for guys with even a little bit of common sense, right? Because you are looking at this span of November to this point, and you're like, okay, the price is going down. Whereas if you are taking it from July, the price was like 28,000. Right now, after the drop, we are 48,000. So if you are zooming out for a year two, you definitely see the price has been way lower than what it is now. So if you say like, okay, this is not a hedge against inflation, now it's not about the Bitcoin, it's about the cryptos. The entire space is booming. So when these guys are highlighting this, you definitely have to understand this is what it means. You're coming onto the Office of National Statistics from UK, and you come down to watch what's happening. Purchasing power of the pound. Wow, great. So this is what you literally observe. Say it's going down, 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 down. That's it. So it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. So over the years, you are watching a fiat depreciating or being debased by printing, and then they come out against new technology, which is scarce. It has more properties, where you can say like, okay, some says it's like gold, some says it's like a different asset, but whatever it is, it kind of fits in that narrative. Because yes, it failed based on its white paper, if you ask me, in my opinion, because it was meant to be a peer-to-peer network, where if you do that instantaneously, you don't get that, right? If we are to use Bitcoin on a global level, imagine the level of energy which you need, imagine the level of fee which you would be paying. I think Swift was much better than that, right? So now, if you jump on, you have, now that's first generation blockchain, right? You have the second generation, you have the third generation, blockchain 3.0 and others, where you see massive improvements. And you have the existing technologies like Ripple Labs, XRP, which is 1,000 times faster, 1,000 times cheaper, and all that. So you don't definitely look at those if you are looking at that one. But what I'm talking about Bitcoin is it's being considered as a store of value. Even big guys are adding it to their portfolio. So the test of time, it's passed, right? It just passed that. We have to agree that whether you are a Bitcoin bull or not, you are completely agreeing with that fact that it has been there for a decade and it's still moving on. It's strong. So in that one, you'll say like, okay, fine. In last decade, the price of this particular asset has moved up like this. What do you anticipate right now? So on a macro scale, you see it has upside. So you are like, okay, fine, this is going to be what I'm looking at. So now, looking at the charts to understand what we are eyeing for next week or two, say next month, what you can see, most likely there is a chance that you are going to go up to retest the moving average here, which would be for Bitcoin, say $55,000 or $54,000. And in the RSI, you definitely see this one happening, right? So if you remember, we had a chart which we posted a week back saying, this is a possibility for the Bitcoin dominance, right? We're going to break below, then we're going to go back up, retest this one and get rejected. Now, if you go to the Bitcoin dominance, you see this one. You broke below, you went back, you retested. Now we are slowly going down. So that is working well as we anticipated. So Now, what are you looking here? When Bitcoin dominance is going down, I'm not saying Bitcoin price is going down. Understand this. Bitcoin price shows in indicators it's having a good time, meaning buyers are accumulating it. So if you look at the MACD, the RSI, and then the price, you're like, okay, fine. From here, it's going to take a breather. It came back all the way from that 69,000 all the way down to that 44. Now it's going to go back up to say 54, 55, and then there is a possibility it may come down. Now, why do I say that? You go zoom out, look at it on a 3-day chart, take this all out and look at this. See, last time when you were actually going down, you can actually see the price was going down here. So you had lower low, again a lower one, again a lower one. So you were trending to the downside. Whereas you look at the RSI, it was trending to the upside. So you actually had a divergence there. Fine. So the MACD was also supporting it. It kind of crossed to the upside here. It showed it's going to cross here. Here it failed, here it failed, here it failed, and finally it crossed to the upside here. So as it crossed, you can actually see that it's moving up. So now this is on a 3-day and you do have space to move to the downside here, right? Whereas on a daily, it shows like you are crossing to the upside as of now, which means when you cross to the upside on a daily here, you were able to move to the upside slowly, but you consolidated for some time for that 3-day to come into the same alignment and then move to the upside. So again, here if you look at that one, it's not that case. You cross to the upside, but the price didn't move up. Now, that area needs to be understood clearly, because here you're crossing to the upside, but last time when you went to the upside, you crossed to the upside, but you had to go above, you came back below, and then you tested that couple of times and then moved. Why? That time which was taken there was to align the big macro charts to come and cross here. Does that make any sense? So if you are on a longer time frame, you get more accurate charts, right? So the daily one actually gives you an idea that it may go up a little bit to test the moving average and then again go back to retest the bottom. So if you're going towards 54k and you are not able to break that one and you're coming back down, yes, 44k remains the bottom for right now. So that's going to be a possible support, or you may even dip to 43, 42 and then go back up. That is a possibility because $40,000 seems to be a strong support right now. You look at this area and you're like, okay, that is a strong support range where you're bouncing, but you're making that rounded bottom in price. So if you're going up, coming back down and then going up, it definitely is a rounded bottom. Now, that's just me speculating based on the indicators, based on the daily, 3-day and weekly chart about what I think is going to happen. Now, if you take that idea into XRP, you end up somewhere like this. You are getting that rounded bottom, great. You are getting the cross on the MACD, great. So if you're going to move higher, you're going to move towards $1, which is not too much pump, but at least it's a relief. Then if it's to go down, it's going to come back down to 0.75. So you go to the 3-day chart and you're like, okay, fine. We have a little bit of downside here. So based on a 3-day chart, you have downside. Based on a daily, we are slowly going to move upside. So considering what Bitcoin is showing you, here on a 3-day, XRP is already at the bottom in the RSI. As the Bitcoin moves up and XRP crosses this one to the upside and move higher, we are going to get the same structure. You're going to cross here. The price is going to be consolidating here. You're going to consolidate and then slowly grind higher. So that one in a 3-day means the price is slowly going to cross back to the upside and grind back to the upside. So guys, if you are in this market and looking at this market on a regular basis, do understand emotions will always be there. You have to balance it. Then you have to look at your portfolio. That's why we actually go through all of these charts, give you all of these ideas about don't panic. This is what's happening and this is what's going to happen for a lot of different assets, because we were looking at the charts saying this is going to happen, and right now we actually see those coins are moving as we anticipated. Right, that's an opportunity. So if you want to seize those opportunities, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time here in the Scientific Investor channel, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That helps and supports the channel a lot. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.